Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brentime, and today I'm going to overview what is called Last Man Standing. I currently have another video on this, and it delves into who is the developer behind this game, and that's a long story in itself, but I'll have a card on the screen now so you can go see that video, and hopefully at the end of the video it will be one of the suggested videos. So let's jump right into this overview. So to preface that other video, this is made by if you watch the breadcrumb trail, this is made by the developers of War Z, then the Infestation Survivor Stories, then what is Romero's Aftermath, then they made Shattered Skies, and then from the Shattered Skies engine, they made this game. They made this game because of the popularity of H1Z1's King of the Kill, and then now PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So this is a battle royale, so to speak, type of game mode, and that comes from the Battle Royale game mode of the Arma games, be it Arma 2 or Arma 3. So, before we jump into the game, I want to go ahead and go through a few things. First, I have experienced both placing in bronze and placing first in the entire thing, like being the last man standing, and that basically means that you are dropped in randomly on the map, and you don't get to select your location in any way, shape, or form. It's just a random seed, and then you are to gather weapons to fight other players, and then the player meter goes down until it's the last man standing, and he wins the game. He gets his own loot crate from that match, and then by leveling up you get loot crates. But what are loot crates? Well, loot crates are essentially either microtransactions or things you are rewarded for leveling up, or you're rewarded for actually getting first place, which is the Champions Crate. It doesn't seem like the Champions Crate gives you any more, special rewards. It just it says it contains special champion cosmetics, but I haven't noticed that thus far. But I could be wrong. And I've only gotten one, so I shouldn't talk too much about it as far as the way it drops. The things I did get from my Champions Crate, however, were these black tuxedo pants, which are red, which I'm just going to assume are rare, and gold I'm going to assume is the legendary, and then blue is uncommon, and then green is common. So I got the tuxedo pants, the Marauder mask, and I also got an animation, which is a taunt, which is this one. It is called, well, actually, it doesn't have the name, but I believe it's, yeah, I can't actually think. I apologize. But you have different ways of customizing your character. Some of the stuff is unlocked right off the gate, or right off the bat. But some of the other stuff you're going to have to unlock via either microtransactions, or you're going to have to basically play the game as much as possible. I don't know what the statistical analysis on most of that stuff is, as far as whether or not it's fair or not. So you can obviously see there's also weapon skins. I have not yet received any weapon skin, and the different weapon skins are separate for each gun, and some of these guns I have yet to see. Some of them I have seen, like I've seen the Bulletstorm and stuff like that. You can see your stats. You can see that I have a win here, and it's just an overview. I've had a bunch of glitches with the game. One where the game literally just stuttered and I could not aim or anything. So this game is not anywhere near like bug free, so don't think that going into it. Also, although squad play is on the screen when you click it, it's not in the game yet, so it just says coming soon. The Proving Grounds modes, I'm not going to go into that too much, but I'm just going to tell you that Proving Grounds is essentially just go in here, train as much as you can. It's just, you respawn, you just try and kill people. There's nothing really to it. Solo play is where the real game is currently. Obviously, you can select different regions and stuff like that. There is a leaderboard if you're trying to compete to be the best player in the game, and eventually there will be some kind of competition mode or competitive that they'll bring to the game. You level up relatively slowly, so don't expect to get crates very often, but as you can see, I've played for 2 hours, 37 minutes, and I'm rank 3, so be that what it is. So we'll go ahead and hit solo play. You obviously get more experience as you get higher in the rankings, and I've gone anywhere from being the 10th to die to being the last man standing. So I think that's a really good buffer for seeing it does. It seems as though it takes about an hour to get a level. And that also means that whatever after this loading screen, we're going to be dropped into, if you haven't seen a battle royale game, you're essentially dropped outside of the map, and you just wait until the game is ready to go, with all players loaded and all players in their respective spots. That way the game can eventually begin. Okay, so now that we're in game, you can see that there is a start area. And basically, because we're in solo play, apparently 3 of the 5 rules there are all teaming rules. And the game will constantly remind you that you are not allowed to team, and teaming may result in a ban. With a game without squad play, I don't know if that's necessarily the best way to go about it, considering, again, it's not the player's fault that there's no way to team yet. So to restrict them in that fashion, I mean, it is a free-to-play game, so if you get banned, just make another Steam account is really the way to do it. I don't believe it's an IP ban. I can't imagine it actually is, considering that they're going to want you to rebuy your microtransactions. But any reason for them to be able to ban you is actually in their favor, considering that you have to get your microtransactions back, and that means you may be more willing to pay with real-life currency. So this whole part usually takes 3 minutes plus, I believe, 20 seconds of waiting for the players to be in it. So I'll literally just let the video skip until when we're about to start, and then you can actually see what the game's about. So see you then. And we begin. So you see that we will drop into a... I dropped into a first-person camera because I hit the C key, which is what is the toggle between first and third person. You can see we already have our first weapon. You normally spawn, you should at least, spawn right next to some kind of building, camp, what have you. We're actually out in basically the middle of nowhere, which is nice, but we do know that there's someone relatively close. There has to be, because that's how the game's engine or game's seed seems to work. So if we hit the F6 key, we can actually attach, should be able to attach that scope we just got. Alright, perfect. So we have an Uzi, and we have, can't actually remember what this gun's called. I do believe this is actually an Arma 3 as a Scorpion. I could be wrong. I'm not entirely sure. But if you hit the M key, you can see the map takes up about half your screen. Thank God. And I mean that sarcastically. And you can see them in the top right-hand corner of the map, and you can also hear gunshots go off. So let's go ahead and see. You can see a player right there. Now, I don't recommend that you take pop shots like you would normally in a shooter game. Reason being is that the bullets seem highly inaccurate. To the point of that I would say they're almost AK-47 style from CSGO. Like, they are pretty inconsistent where they're going to hit, which is almost infuriating, I should say. And when I say inconsistent from the CSGO AK-47, I mean when you're blasting it. Like, the bullet doesn't go in the same place twice at all. Not even close. So, and not toting myself as a master of CSGO, though. I'm not sure if that was aimed at me or not. So third person obviously gives you an advantage of camera angle. And if you've played any survival type game, you should know that by now. But I should hopefully have a tips video with this game. So that way you can kind of see how to play just a tad better. Okay, so there's a player right there. Not entirely sure if he knows I'm here. I'm gonna crouch down. So you are totally silent if you're crouched. As you can hear, that man was extremely close to me. Not entirely sure where he is now. So obviously in these Battle Royale games, the circle gets tighter and tighter as, there's a guy on that hill there, as the game progresses, which makes it increasingly easier to find another player. Sounds like he sees someone over here. I think that's the guy that was near me. As you can see, he's probably making his way over to that drop that we just saw. It should tempt the player that was near us to also go over there. So these drops happen to basically try and get players to, as you can see, a flare just went up, to try and get players to get even closer together. We should be fine as far as the barrier is concerned. I do think the random drops actually give some players some sort of edge. Okay, you can see him. He's up on that hill over there. And even though teaming results in a ban, don't be surprised when you see two people teaming. Oh, there he is again. It's really not that surprising at all. He definitely doesn't see us, which is nice. Also, 100% don't hear or see the other guy that was near us. Oh. That might be him. So one big problem I have with this is that the health bars pop up when you look at someone, which means if you just end up glancing over someone by accident, you'll see them, and you really shouldn't. I think it gives the game sort of a unnecessary buffer for players that have no idea what the hell they're doing and just get lucky when they're glancing. It's definitely not the ugliest looking game, but I wouldn't also call it the best running, even though it's not the prettiest game either. I find it to run just as well, if not worse, than Battlegrounds at Ultra on a GTX 1060, which isn't necessarily much to tote about. So people are definitely fighting over that. That drop. You can see tons of people are dying over there. Oh, there's... There's a player. There's a player. He's gonna die. I know I have direct line of sight on him, but my biggest issue is that... Oh, there's another guy. My biggest issue is that even though I have direct line of sight, I will A, give away my position, and let them know that I'm here. Oh. That guy is seriously hurt. But also the guns at range are terrible. If you hit Q, you can see if you have med kits. I currently do not. There must be another player right here. Or he sees me. I'm not sure which one. I think normally if this was a DayZ style game, I would probably take a pot shot at him, but I'm not going to risk it with these guns being as inaccurate as they are. Although it is an overview video, so it might be worth it to demonstrate. So we're still within the circle. Let's see if I can keep LOS. I think he's might have moved. Oh, there he is. He's checking out these guys. Their guns. He might have a sniper rifle now. So I clearly don't have that many shots in either of my rifles. I'm not sure if he sees me or not. I don't know why he would have erected a barrier if he didn't. There's a kill. As you can hear, footsteps are extremely loud and can give you away your position in no time. That's why the fact that crouching silences your footsteps is such a big deal. And I'm not seeing anything. Although I see him. So you can see my third-person camera's really giving me. Oh my goodness. I have no idea what kind of gun that is, but he killed me in 0.25 seconds. That is incredible. So, as you can see, some of the guns seem to maybe have a damage multiplier that might be insane. And I found that to be actually mostly the LMGs. And if you find a similar thing, go ahead and share that in the comments section below. But as you can see, there's a level up and there's a vanity crate. So we actually get the opportunity to also show you a crate opening. You get 3 items. And obviously it's determined randomly. I don't know if you can get duplicates. As you can see, we got a serpent mask. It looks like we got 1 rare, or maybe a rare. I'm not entirely sure. A winter beanie and a Desert Storm AK-12S, which doesn't interest me in any way, shape, or form. I wish if you clicked on it, it would actually give you the opportunity to jump straight to the customization. But, you know, whatever. But yep, there is the serpent mask that we just obtained. These sporty sunglasses that I got right off the bat. So you can see things seem to be pretty random. as far as rarity, but like that was the first thing I got, and it seems to be somewhat rare because I believe it goes green, blue, red, yellow. I mean, as far as games I've played, that seems to be the case. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this overview video. I hope I went pretty in-depth as far as how the mechanics work and generally how the game is and whether or not it's worth your time. It is free to play, and go ahead and pick it up on Steam, and it's just called Last Man Standing. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in the next one.